Come on, baby, now. Let me look at you. Talk about yourself. Try to tell the truth.
Hoy es 7 de septiembre y es un día muy especial. El Egypt Station prácticamente ya está disponible en todas las plataformas y tiendas físicas y digitales. Y para mí, como fundador de la Hemeroteca, es un día significativo, ya que es el primer álbum de Paul McCartney que cubro desde la creación del canal. Y así como es significativo para un periodista deportivo cubrir unos Juegos Olímpicos o un Mundial, para mí realmente es lo equivalente a cubrir un álbum de Paul McCartney. Este video es la guía y el complemento más extenso y completo que vas a tener al álbum, para que tú lo veas antes, durante o después de escuchar el álbum. Esta herramienta está a tu alcance para que tú la aproveches, no está mi crítica aquí, está todo lo que necesitas saber, así que vamos iniciando de una vez. El Egypt Station es el primer álbum de Paul en casi 6 años, desde New. No habíamos tenido un álbum completo, pero esto no significa que McCartney en cuanto a grabaciones se refiere estuviera inactivo. Vino la famosa 4-5 Seconds, las colaboraciones con Kanye West, la canción para la película The Blink of an Eye, la colaboración con The Hollywood Vampires, también estuvo la versión de The Bloody Bedrooms de Outside, ese tema de The Fireman que fue relanzado, entre otras colaboraciones y apariciones esporádicas que tuvo McCartney en grabaciones. Durante este periodo tuvo la Orden de Francia, compañero de honor en Inglaterra y otro tipo de reconocimientos más. Y las giras que marcaron el periodo de promoción de New fue Out There y posteriormente la gira One on One. Mientras todo esto pasaba y McCartney recorría el mundo, se componía Egypt Station. Como ya se había comentado, McCartney en la revista Rolling Stone de 2016 empieza de alguna manera a dar pinceladas del álbum que estaba creando. El álbum estaba en gestación y ni siquiera tenía un nombre. Conforme el tiempo fue avanzando nos dimos cuenta de que Paul estaba preparando disco. Y la pregunta ahora era, ¿cuándo saldrá? La idea es que el álbum iba a salir el año pasado, pero se pospuso, entonces hasta el día de hoy, en septiembre, es cuando estamos viendo ahora sí el álbum como producto final. Los primeros meses del año, McCartney estuvo muy inactivo en cuanto al foco del público se refiere. Prácticamente no hubo una gira, no hubo conciertos, ni hubo mucha promoción y fueron una que otra las apariciones de Paul. Pero no fue hasta que lo vimos con James Corden cuando vimos que la promoción de su nuevo álbum ahora sí iba empezando. Se filtró un video de Come On To Me en una interpretación que hizo Paul en el Philharmonic Pub y ahí fue cuando empezamos a conocer las nuevas canciones. Posteriormente el Instagram de Paul desapareció, todo se volvió blanco y misterioso y la campaña de mercadotecnia parecía perfecta. Todas las fotos iban encajando y parecía que íbamos a llegar a algo, pero esta campaña tan estrictamente colocada se vio un poco opacada cuando Paul McCartney decidió subir una foto de su cumpleaños el 18 de junio. Así que el jefe es el jefe y por más campaña de disco misteriosa que quieras meter, ahí se quedó en el recuerdo la fotografía del cumpleaños de Paul. Al final esas fotos no formaron nada exacto y solamente eran como pistas que nos iban acercando al título. Justo un día después se anuncia el lanzamiento de un sencillo con doble cara A, I Don't Know y Come On To Me. Y el día 20 de junio se anuncia el título oficial, Egypt Station, con la fecha de lanzamiento ya puesta para el día 7 de septiembre. Esto también fue de la mano con el lanzamiento de la nueva gira. McCartney se veía renovado, dejó de pintarse el cabello y sus canas empezaron a aparecer. Una muestra clara de una nueva imagen a la cual acompañaría el nuevo álbum. Un Paul McCartney consciente de su edad y rejuvenecido con un sonido completamente fresco. Los lanzamientos del sencillo junto con el Carpool Karaoke con James Corden fueron esenciales. Encabezaron las listas de descargas de Amazon y Come On To Me se volvió un éxito nuevo en la carrera de Paul. De hecho entró en el top 10 de la lista contemporánea de adultos de Billboard y fue la primera canción en 20 años de Paul que entraba en este sitio. Mientras la fecha se acercaba se añadieron más conciertos a su gira. En Inglaterra siguió la promoción a tope. Después del furor causado por el Carpool Karaoke se decidió hacer una segunda parte. El video fue todo un éxito, conmocionó al mundo. Tanto fue el éxito que McCartney también añadió unos conciertos especiales en Liverpool y en Londres, volviendo a la Celebrity Cavern para grabar lo que se dice será un documental en el futuro, y también haciendo una pequeña aparición en Abbey Road, no sin antes cruzar la calle por enésima vez. Con una promoción y unas campañas bien diseñadas por Capitol y MPL, parecía que todo estaba saliendo bien. Justo un poco antes de su lanzamiento también comenzó la promoción en Estados Unidos, con apariciones en algunas ciudades emblemáticas de los Estados Unidos, el regreso al show de Howard Stern y la vuelta otra vez al programa de Jimmy Fallon. El álbum también pudo escucharse esporádicamente en el canal de radio de los Beatles. Y anexado a toda la promoción mediática que ya tenía encima con el lanzamiento del álbum, Paul empezó a dar entrevistas que sin duda empezaron a hacer noticia.
When we decided we were going to call the album Egypt Station, I liked the idea of making a montage of sounds that were sort of like a station. So we found one station and then we added another one to it, the sound effects of real stations. And then we started to make up some little noises that we added to make it like a dreamscape. So the idea being that this kind of dream location was where all this music was going to emanate from. I don't know, I wrote this after going through a difficult period, like people have, nothing sort of madly serious or anything, but just one of those days when it's like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong here, you know? And sometimes that's a good way to write a song, because you're coming from your soul. And we often used to say that writing a song was like talking to a psychiatrist, a therapist or something, because you're saying it, but you're saying it in a song and rather in a room to a specialist. Yeah, so it was me just thinking this problem out and putting it into a song. Come On To Me is sort of a pickup song, and I'm imagining myself probably in the 60s going to a party and seeing someone and thinking, oh no, okay, how do I make an approach here? So it's an imaginary song, it's a fantasy song about a guy seeing someone and thinking, oh, we should try and find a place to be alone here and maybe exchange information and stuff, and hey, you looked like you flashed a smile and said to me you wanted so much more than casual conversation. So, will you come on to me or am I going to come on to you? Yeah, I was on holiday and I was just noodling around on my guitar and I was thinking about the days when I had a lot of free time and used to just sort of lie around basically doing nothing all day. And getting a bit stoned and just doing nothing really, busy doing nothing. And so I'd got this little riff on the guitar and the words came to me, you know, I used to lie around all day, I used to get stoned, I used to like to get wasted, but these days I don't. So it's a song about growing up. You know, there's a period in your life or in some people's lives when they're not being as productive or not being as organized or disciplined as they may later turn out to be. So this was basically it. With Who Cares, I was thinking about a song where you actually are talking to the people who may listen to it. And in my case, I was imagining sort of young fans or just young people generally who might hear this and who are going through some sort of problem where they're being picked on, they've been put on. And these days it would be internet bullying, trolls and all that. In my sort of school days, it would have just been bullies and people just generally picking on each other. So I know that happens all over the world to millions of people. So my thing was to kind of try and help almost kind of give some sort of advice. So the song says, you know, have you ever been fed up with people bullying with you? Has this ever happened? Do you ever people have called you names or done all these mean things? Has this ever happened to you? Well, who cares? And then in a twist at the end of that chorus, it's like, who cares? I do. For you, certain songs you kind of written in advance of your recording sessions, and then certain other songs you make up in the studio, and you're just thinking of ideas as you go along. So with this one, I was in the studio with Ryan Tedder, whereas the rest of the album has been made with Greg Kirsten. But for this one, we were just thinking of ideas and little pieces of melody and chords, and the song just came together bit by bit. And then I would try and make some sort of sense of the story. So it was like, come on baby now, talk about yourself, try and tell the truth, let me get to know you, and basically I want to know how you feel. You make me want to go out and steal, I just want it for you. So that was the basic idea, and it developed from there. That's sort of a love song, but a raunchy love song. Here you go, for you. With the song Confidant, I happened to be at home and I was looking in the corner where propped up was my old Martin guitar that I normally just have there, so if I feel like playing the guitar, I'll take it down and play it or try and write a song or whatever you do. And I thought to myself, I haven't had time lately to play guitar. And it reminded me that when we first got guitars years and years ago, they would be like a friend. It would be like a confidant. You'd go off into a corner and you'd write a little song and you'd sort of almost tell your troubles to your guitar. It's a love song to the guitar. How the guitar was my confidant and I told you every little secret thing. And in fact, unlike my other so-called friends, you stood beside me while I fought. So it became a symbol of the guitar as a mate, as a friend, as a confidant. We'd played a gig in Israel quite a few years ago, and I wanted to go to Palestine before I went to Israel because I was very aware of the political situation there. So I didn't want to just look like I was ignoring Palestine, playing in Israel, although that was where the date was, the gig. So I made arrangements to go into Palestine, across the border, and go to a little music school and shake hands with the kids and hang out and listen to them playing some music, just to show solidarity with the Palestinian people. And then when I came back into Israel, I then met with some cool people from a group called One Voice, a political group kind of thing, a movement. And we ended up wearing their badges on our show in Tel Aviv. So the whole idea was a peace mission, really, because these kids were great. I mean, I say kids, they're kind of young adults. And I'd say to them, well, what is it? What do you want to do? You know, they say, all we want to do is just live in peace, raise our families, you know, and be able to just get on with our lives in peace. And so that tied in with something that when I was a kid, I'd asked my dad and said, you know, we were seeing all the wars and stuff on the newspapers and on TV and stuff. I'd said to him, what is it? You know, do people want peace or do they just like to fight? And he sort of looked at me very quiet and he said, no, son, people want peace. It's the politicians and the leaders who get into wars. It's not the people. So that always struck me as a great phrase. Sometimes songs just come to you sort of late at night, and I've got a piano at home, and in actual fact, this particular piano happens to be my dad's old piano, so it's special to me. And I was sitting there one night, and I just started to find these chords that are the beginning of Hand in Hand. And it's basically a love song. And as I wrote it, I was imagining me and Nancy about to go through life hand in hand. It was written early stage of our relationship. And then I started to think, yeah, well, this is a lot of people. You know, there are millions of people in that situation where they've got someone they love and they want to go through life hand in hand and to be a partnership of some kind. And it was nice, actually, when we recorded it, we had 2 lady cellists. That's all there is on there beside the band. And it was very sweet because at the end of it, we liked what they'd done. We said, that's great, thank you. And one of them sort of said, oh, you know what? I'm getting married for the second time and I'm a little bit nervous. He said, but this song has made me think it's going to work out all right. So I thought, that's it. You know, that's a reason right there for writing that song. One of the interesting things about songs is they often come from something that happens in your life, and your song is the reaction to it. And it can be something very small. You can just sort of have an argument with someone, and you can just go off and think, oh, I'll just play guitar for a while, get out of it, you know, get over it. And this kind of started like that. So it was just a people song about how things are really all right, but they don't always seem to be all right. And then I got this image of dominoes. You know, when people line up those millions of dominoes and then they drop the first one and goes through this whole sequence. So I imagine that as being symbolic of life and, you know, how one little action can have such a big effect on this huge line of dominoes. And then when I recorded it, I wanted to do it very personally because it's a sort of personal song. You know, even though we go through all this stuff, even though all these dominoes fall over and life goes on, and in fact, in the end, it's okay. So I was in Brazil on tour. It was one of those nice free days where there was nothing planned. And I had a piano in the room, of the hotel room. So I got this little riff and got this idea of back in Brazil, there was this girl who dreams of a future, a far, far better world. Oh, she meets a man and he fits in with her plan. You know, so it's a story about a couple and trials and tribulations. Things are going well, and she plans a date, but he can't come because they got him working late. And so it was just an imaginary story of 2 young Brazilian people, and it's kind of dancey. So I wanted to put Brazilian rhythms to it and get the flavor. Do it now is an expression my dad used to say. It's funny, you know, as you get older, you remember things that your parents or maybe teachers or friends said. And if there's a catchphrase, and my dad's big catchphrase is, well, do it now. You know, you'd sort of say, no, well, I'll do it later. He said, well, no, do it now. And he used to say D-I-N. So that was just his particular little catchphrase. And I always thought D-I-N, that's a great name for a record label. Din. You know, so anyway, this has always been in my mind, this do it now thing. So I was looking for an idea to write a song about. So then I started off, okay, I'm on a journey. I've been invited to go somewhere. So I'm going in my imagination somewhere. And the idea is that if I don't do it now, I may never get to this place. Basically, as a song, imaginary journey suggested by the fact that my dad would have said, go on that journey now, don't leave it till it's too late. So there it is, do it now. Caesar Rock. Okay, there's some times when I get in my studio with my engineer Steve and we just start making up stuff. We will just have no idea what we're going to do, but we'll play with things we're interested in. So I might just start off with a drum machine, do something, and put a little piano on it or put a bass on it, and then maybe sing some ideas on it. I went in one day and we started making this song. And then I was playing with a little auto-tune thing that I'd been familiarized with by working with Kanye. So I thought, I fancy having a go at this. And in a way, it's a bit sacrilegious. But then I started thinking, are you kidding me? You know, you listen to some of the Beatles records, Tomorrow Never Knows. And we were never that, you know, nothing was that sacred. So it was She's a Rock. But then we started referring to it as Caesar Rock because we were just having fun. And so we just built it up. So I like that. I like this song because it's slightly oddball. You know, it's a song where anything goes. And I like it because of that. And then we got a group of people in the studio, some of the engineers, some of the guys who were hanging around. I said, okay, come on, we're all going to go in and just be this big chorus thing. And then the thing I love about it is right at the end of the track, I still don't know how this happened, but it must have been me that shouted, "She's got matching teeth." And everyone goes, "She's got matching teeth." And it's like, I like the idea of matching teeth. I mean, I was playing with that as an album title. Matching teeth. Yes. So, I mean, that was one we had a lot of fun with. Caesar Rock. I was in Japan and I was reading a newspaper. I think it was like the Tokyo Times, Japan Times or something. And there was something about climate change. And it's typical, you know, the way people are kind of not doing anything about it. It's all going to be fine. Don't worry. Oh, yeah, sure, there's icebergs melting, but it doesn't matter. It's not melting in London, so don't worry about it, you know. And the phrase was in this article, it started off, despite repeated warnings, they're not listening, you know, was the idea. I liked that phrase, despite repeated warnings. I thought, oh, yeah, that sums up a lot of people's feelings. And then thought, well, what I'll do is I'll do a kind of song where I use symbolism. And so the person that will be symbolic of certain politicians, people who argue that climate change is a hoax, and we know a few. So I'll do it about that, and I'll get somebody to symbolize one of those people. So I thought, okay, it's a sea captain, and he's steering a boat, and he's going to go towards the icebergs, but he's been warned, but he's going because he thinks he's right, and he thinks they're all making too much of it, and, you know, the usual arguments, you know. So that's what it's about. It's a sort of story like the Titanic. If they'd been warned, hey, you're going to sink from icebergs, and if the captain said, doesn't matter, we'll be fine. So it's that, using that kind of idea. So there's a sort of mad, daft captain, and then there's all the people on the boat who know he's got it wrong. So it's very symbolic for what's going on in some areas of politics, in my mind. So it's one of those songs like Band on the Run or Live and Let Die that's kind of episodic, and it's kind of an epic production. But that is it, and it is hopefully trying to remind people that climate change is not a hoax, and that we should avoid having a mad captain steering us towards the icebergs. Station 2 is a continuation of the opening soundscape that takes us back to the station. It's an imaginary station. And, you know, I like the idea that it's a train station or it's a radio station. It's just some imaginary place. So we had fun just making up a soundscape. And then at the end of it, we thought, well, it'd be a nice idea to vaguely, in this big station, hear someone plugging in a guitar like as a busker coming to play some songs and earn some money. So you hear him plug in and he plays a riff. It was the beginning of one of our songs called Hunt You Down. So he plays it, and then it gradually gets louder until it becomes the real song. And that's a 3-part song, which goes from this sort of rocker, Hunt You Down, and the words are, I can't find my love, no matter how hard I try. You know, it's giving me the runaround. It's kind of like blues complaining lyrics. Yeah, my woman done hurt me. I can't find my love. You know, it's that kind of thing. So I'm having fun with that and doing this little rock and roll piece. And that became Hunt You Down. And then it goes through into another song called Naked. And again, it links through because there's like a tempo change at the end of Hunt You Down. It goes from 4/4 into 3/4 and goes into this other song, which is a very simple song that I'd recorded pretty much on my own. It's a simple song about I've been naked since I was born. And, you know, this thing we go through, that's life, that everyone goes through it. And in a way, there are many situations that you find yourself where you're kind of naked. Socially, you can sort of feel naked. I don't know how to deal with this, you know. So that was a song about, that's my take on that. As I say, I played it myself and sang it myself in the studio. And then that links on to another thing we called C-Link in the end, which is just me totally indulging myself in wanting to play guitar. And the original take on it is about 11 minutes, I think. But it's just me really enjoying playing electric guitar. As I always say to people, often say, why do you still do it? I say, well, because I love it. I love this thing. And I'm still thrilled with having the privilege of being able to go up to an amp, turn it on, get my guitar, plug it in, and play it very loud. It's a thrill, and it's never stopped being a thrill, that. And then there were certain little phrases that were kind of more melodic than others. A lot of it's just bluesy phrases. There were one or two in there that suggested something else. So we orchestrated a few of the phrases and made it a little bit more of a composition. It was an idea that I'd fancied doing it for a long time, of just getting someone, turned out to be me, who's just going to get someone to play blues guitar against an orchestra holding a chord. In this case, it was C. And then C minor. Just the orchestra just hold this chord forever and ever and ever. And that finishes the album. And right at the end of that session, I was having so much fun that you just hear a little woo! And that's it.
Una de las pasiones no tan conocidas de Paul McCartney es la pintura. Desde su adolescencia, Paul McCartney empezó a desarrollar su faceta como pintor, y durante los 80s y 90s Paul regresó a esta pasión pintando una numerosa cantidad de cuadros, mismos que ya fueron en algún momento exhibidos e incluso lanzados en libro. Entre todas estas pinturas, una de las no tan conocidas era una llamada Egypt Station. Tal y como su título lo dice, era una estación en Egipto. Nadie, prácticamente nadie, se imaginaría que esta pintura sería la base del que ahora es su álbum nuevo. A manera de collage y con algunos complementos extras, esta pintura representa prácticamente todo el arte del disco. De hecho, la litografía oficial de la pintura se llegó a vender en varias copias. Hoy en día, y por la importancia que tiene y que tendrá este álbum, sin duda alguna esta pintura y sus litografías serán muchísimo más caras. Hablar de Paul y hablar de su odisea por el número 1 es de hablar de una cosa que no sucede desde 1989. El Flowers in the Dirt de ese año fue el último álbum de Paul que llegó al número 1. Después vinieron más discos de estudio como Off the Ground, Flaming Pie, Driving Rain, Chaos in Creation, Memory Almost Full, Kisses on the Bottom y New, y ninguno de ellos pudo lograr el número 1. Flaming Pie llegó al número 2, mientras el New y el Kisses llegaron al número 3 y el Memory Almost Full llegó al número 5. O sea que Paul ha estado a casi nada de tenerlo y es una pequeña obsesión que tiene. Ese trauma, obsesión o piedrita en el zapato, como le quieras llamar, que Paul tiene desde hace mucho tiempo, es lo que lo ha llevado a colaborar con Rihanna o con Kanye West. Ha incursionado hasta en los videojuegos con Destiny, diciendo que pensaba que sería un mega hit Hope for the Future. Al final de cuentas y después de vagar por un montón de lugares, McCartney vuelve a su estado original. Y después de dar tantas vueltas, McCartney vuelve a su lugar, a su esencia, al álbum completo. Egypt Station es un álbum conceptual. Esta es una cuestión ya muy personal de Paul, es más que nada por su carrera. Es la persona y el artista más exitoso de todos los tiempos, pero aún así hay esa espinita que sin duda alguna nos encantaría que se pudiera quitar con Egypt Station. A partir de hoy los discos se están vendiendo sumado a las preventas que existieron en diferentes plataformas. El tiempo nos dirá si Egypt Station pudo llegar al número 1 en estos tiempos musicales tan oscuros. Sin embargo, tener un álbum de un Beatle a los 76 años es un regalo completamente. Este video es solo la guía del Egypt Station, espero te haya gustado. Tuvimos el privilegio de tener estas entrevistas de Paul hablando de los temas, así que tenemos un análisis previo de todas las canciones, nada más y nada menos que por Paul McCartney. Ha sido un trabajo enorme el que hemos hecho por este video, ha sido un trabajo enorme el que hemos hecho por este álbum, y como lo dijo su productor, McCartney superó los límites de la composición. Esta no es ni mi crítica, ni mi análisis, ni mi reseña del álbum, simplemente es una guía complementaria para que ustedes la tengan junto a su Egypt Station que seguramente estarán ya escuchando. En unas horas estará la crítica y la reseña en este canal y tal y como lo dije, ha sido un honor y un privilegio estar en esta aventura de Paul. Nadie conoce a Paul McCartney como nosotros en el medio y sin duda llegar a este día es especial para nosotros. Suscríbete si no conoces este contenido, viene el análisis del disco también. Esta es la guía completa del Egypt Station y espero te haya gustado. Así que si no lo has escuchado, ve y escúchalo a las plataformas digitales, ve y adquiérelo a las tiendas físicas. Ya estás informado, ya sabes lo que tenías que saber de los temas, así que ahora el deleite del álbum será mucho mayor. ¿Quién se imaginaría que en el 2018 estaríamos celebrando el lanzamiento de un nuevo álbum de Paul McCartney?